Well, hello there. All right, we're ready to start lesson 13 in English. So I'll put this on the screen first for you to see. We're working on a personal narrative this week. And so we're going to start today. Now, this is the writing process. It is the stages or the different steps that a writer will follow as he writes. In each stage, there's something for you to do, and sometimes you'll have to repeat it each time. But the first thing we do is what we're going to do today. We're just planning it. We actually started it yesterday when we were writing down ideas to write about, ideas of things that's happened to us. Okay, so today we're actually going to do a little bit more of that. We're going to be planning. Now let me get over here to the right page to show you a little bit more about planning and what you do when you get ready to plan. Let me zoom in here. All right, getting ready to write. First, we're going to choose our topic, what you're going to write about. Remember, you wrote down a couple of things yesterday, so you're going to choose one of those today. And then you're going to think about, well, why am I even writing this? Then think about your audience. Who's going to be reading it? And then you're going to think about, what's it going to look like? Well, we already know most of these. If you don't, then I'll tell you. When you know the answers to these questions, then you can explore your topic and then you can organize your ideas. And these are some different ideas that you can use to organize your ideas, some different ideas, just different things that we use. And we're going to be using different things today. We're going to be using these. These are called graphic organizers. Basically, they just help you visualize your writing ideas. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the screen where you can see me. And here we are. All right. So can you look in your book on page 27? Now, remember on page 26 from yesterday, you wrote down a few things, 2 or 3 things maybe that you were thinking about, things that's happened to you. I want you to kind of look back over those and think about which one of those you remember the best. Which one of those things taught you something that you didn't know, taught you something new. So whenever you figure that out, can you put a check mark beside the one that answers those questions? Okay, the one that you put a check mark by, that's the one we're going to write about, okay? Now, before we begin writing, we're going to kind of remember that personal narrative I read that Shibu wrote, and that was over on page 25. Remember about my new friend. All right, we're going to go back to before Shibu had that final copy written, and we're going to follow along and see how he planned out his writing. So look at the top of page 27. After he figured out what he was going to write about, which was visiting his great-grandmother, he used this chart to kind of help him organize his ideas. Now, the topic was visiting great-grandma at Berrydale Nursing Center. That was what he was going to write about. Okay, so over on page 28 at the top where it says topic, can you put what you're writing about? Okay, I hope you put your topic. Now look back over here at Shibu's chart on page 27. Now, it's easier sometimes to write your opening, and remember your opening has to catch the reader's attention, and then your closing has to tell what you learned. Okay, we're going to save those two for a little bit later. We're going to talk about the topics. I want you to think about whatever it is that you chose. Think about it in your mind. Run it through like it's a movie. Run it through and think about it, okay? Let's look at Shibu's events right quick. See where on the left-hand side of his chart it says events, and then on the other side he put details. So the first event that happened in his mind was he saw his great-grandma sitting outside her room. He didn't use a complete sentence. He just jotted down his notes. He saw her. That was the first thing that happened. Look over on the details. Well, then he put he felt afraid. She had on a silky blue robe. Her hair was in a long braid. He just wrote some details about some of the things he remembered about that first thing. Okay, look at the second thing. The second thing he wrote about is that she smiled at him. So look what he put about the details on that. She had a shaky voice, but her smile was full of love. He put those details in there about that, some ideas. And then look at the third thing that happened. he took her out onto the deck. And there's some details about that. She was in her wheelchair. She talked to Dad in Bengali. He just wrote those details down. And then the fourth thing that happened was that he read the Bible to her. And then the details, he wrote some more details. And then the last thing was they ended their visit. And then he put some details there about ending the visit. Okay? So you see how he put his events in order. Just little events that he could remember in his mind, and then just jotted down some details about that just to kind of help him remember and let him see it on paper rather than just thinking of it in his mind. Sometimes it's easier to look at it on the paper. Now let's look at his opening. His opening, he knew that he wanted to write, I went with Dad to see her. He knew. Now, that's not his opening sentence, because if you'll look back, his opening sentence is, last year I went with my dad to visit his grandmother at Berrydale Nursing Center. That's all he wrote about on his first sentence. So he just put where it says opening, he knew in his opening he was just going to write about going with his dad to see her. Okay? He didn't put the actual sentence. He just wrote what it was going to be about. Now, look at his closing down at the bottom. Now we write letters. I feel like she's one of my best friends. He put what happened at the end, how he feels now, what he learned from that. Now, he put more details in there. That's going to be kind of his closing sentence. Okay? Pardon me. Look over at the next page. This is on page 26. This is going to be for you to organize your thoughts. Take those thoughts of that event that you chose out of your head and put them on paper. Okay? None of this has to be, don't worry about spelling, don't worry about complete sentences. This is all just your thoughts that you're just taking out of your head and you're putting them on paper. And it's going to help you when you go to write it. So that's going to be your assignment today. And I really can't help you do it because I don't know what you chose and I don't know what's in your mind. So you're going to have to take all that thought out and put it on there. If you lose your place, you kind of don't know what to do, look back over here at Shibu's and look what he did, how he did it. Okay? You can always use his as an example and then put your ideas down there. But do your opening and your closing last, because it might make it easier once you get those events in order and just some details. And you don't have to fill in every single place. Just write your ideas down. That's all you need to do. Okay? So before I'm going to have you do this assignment, I'm going to put on the screen lesson 13. So you'll need a sheet of paper to practice on lesson 13. And then your assignment is to finish page 28, planning your narrative.